was our last night in Nepal.
Cheers.
Cheers. So we were thinking that there's a lot of things that happened on the trek that we actually either didn't vlog, didn't talk about,
Didn't photograph.
snap, tweet, all the usual social media things. So we came up with a little bit of the list of things that we were trying to talk about to try and recap. Overall though, this is my second time in Nepal. This is your first time.
First time.
How's it been?
Really good. Really enjoyed it. Very, very interesting. Different. But good.
So we were just talking before. Was it what you expected? Was it different? I didn't really give you much warning when I said, hey, let's go to Nepal.
You got 4 weeks.
It was better than saying, hey, do you want to go next week?
True. But no, it was good. Got delayed coming in, so I was already late.
Yeah.
Picked up the airport after searching for ages to find the guy who was supposed to be picking me up.
Yep.
Jumped off here.
Now, we were talking before airport security.
Yeah, okay.
Tell me about your experience with airport security.
Okay, so you walk in to the airport, you come to security, usually you put your bag down, take your belt off, put shoes on the rack, and they check everything. Here, bag goes through the scanner, guys watching or reading a magazine and taking no notice of the scanner.
Yep.
And then you walk through the metal detector, and it's just constantly ringing the red light because it's just constantly going on.
Yep.
And no one cares.
No, just go through.
Yep. So
My favourite bit of airport security was the thermal camera where they take your temperature. And as you walk through, there's the camera taking your temperature, and there's a guy sitting behind the screen, obviously to see if you've got a pulse or something. But he's busy with his back to the screen, looking the other way, reading a magazine.
yeah. So the other guy actually walked off with a passenger when I arrived. I think he must have known it. And that was it. So no one was stopped. Just keep going. You may have a bowler, but we don't care.
Yeah. And when they actually search your bags, they don't search your bags, you just have to open your bag, and if you open your bag, they go, great.
Yeah.
And you close your bag.
Yeah. Which actually, at the end of the trip, made someone very, very angry.
European lady got really upset when she went all the effort to open her bags and they refused to actually search one. She demanded that they search her bags.
Search my bag! I might have a bomb!
It's like, no.
Which was strange. But
Yep. So, any shocks, surprises, anything different in Nepal what you were expecting?
the drive from the airport,
Mhm.
there was a massive international event going on.
Yep. Government conference.
And which basically meant the entire streets were lined with police and soldiers.
With machine guns.
With machine guns. You had to walk down the hill from the airport to get to the taxi because taxis weren't allowed into the airport. So you're just walking past military posts full of soldiers with guns, all looking very angry. And the next day, we had a drive around the city.
Yep.
And again, soldiers everywhere with guns.
I think I got some of that on video for
Yeah.
when we went out to the orphanage.
Yeah.
I'll have to check with the vlogs
So
to actually review the footage.
We went past that. And then
That's actually something that I don't think I vlogged at all, was the car trip back from the orphanage.
No, yeah. So it was, what, half an hour to get there?
Yeah, half an hour or something.
Well over an hour and a bit to get back because one side of the city was completely shut due to this meeting. So we basically circumnavigated the entire city, trying to find a road, and we found one back alley which brought us back into the center of the city.
That was interesting because our taxi driver just kept going down one street and then it would be completely blocked. And you'd just go through back alleys between, not even alleys, like just between houses. And I don't think I vlogged any of it because my bladder was busting the whole time. No, taxi driver just kept saying, can't be done, can't be done. No, he finally got us there. So.
Yeah, which is pretty lucky because it was pretty busy. And it was rush hour as well by the time we finished.
I'm just going to pause for a second while we wait for the noise to go. So we tried to pause there until the background noise goes away, and then we realised that's the diesel generator for the hotel.
Yeah. So Nepal is pretty poor, and
still the poorest in the world, I think, or second poorest country in the world.
Weirdly underdeveloped. So as the city grows, they can't afford to put in new infrastructure. So at the moment they have rolling power cuts around the city. So this is the second one of the day.
Yep. So every day there's usually about 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours at night where each district will lose power, which means the hotel will turn on their diesel generator, so that things like the lights.
In my room.
Yeah. So my room doesn't get electricity during it, so I can't charge my iPhone or my iPad. Range room does.
Yeah.
So that's so I think I've vlogged much of the next couple days over the first couple days after the orphanage.
Yep.
Where we went out to Lukla, which was an experience.
The flight?
Yeah, well, even before the flight.
Yeah, true.
So, tell us what happened.
Okay. So we rock up to the airport.
Yep. What time?
Early.
5 a.m. or something.
Yeah. So we take breakfast with us, and we smuggle some candy and chocolate bars in through the airport.
So why did we have to smuggle?
Snuggle them.
We didn't have to smuggle. That was purely by choice.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, so there's a weight limit for the planes. It's 15 kilos per person.
Yep.
That's including your baggage and your carry-on. And so we weighed our bags, and it was about 12 kilos for the rucksacks, a few kilos for the hand luggage, then the coats that we were wearing and the overcoat that we were wearing.
Yep.
And then I just, in one of my pockets, just stuffed a bag about this full of like 5 kilos of Nutri-Grain bars and protein bars.
So my wife very kindly went shopping for us before we went, and Ellen helped me buy, we weighed 7 kilos of chocolate bars and snack food to eat along the way, but it put us over the weight limit. So we got on board with these big down jackets with kilograms of chocolate bars in each pocket, because they didn't weigh that.
So we got through security, and then and we had these bottles of water. It was like stuffed in our pocket as well. So it came.
It was literally a case of, is that a litre bottle of water?
Oh, you're happy to see me.
You're just happy to see me.
And,
no, it's a 1 litre bottle of water.
And then it came to pouring the water bottles into our camelbacks, which then had an issue for me because my camelback wasn't fastened properly, and the little screw at the bottom where the straw comes in.
So you poured a litre into the bladder
And half a litre came back out all over my stuff, which was fun. And
eventually, after 2 or 3 hours of waiting for the weather to clear,
because of the fog, they didn't take off.
we finally got told our flight was leaving. And you get told you've got to race to the aircraft to get into the seats on the left so you can actually see the mountains as you fly up. There's only like 10 seats on the plane.
Side,
So we race, we get onto the bus drives us out to the plane on the runway.
Almost.
Almost.
So we get onto the bus and we start driving. We're quite far. We're pretty much at the plane.
You can see the plane.
And the driver turns around, and we're just like, what's going on? We're not getting on the plane. Did they close the airport? Did Lukla close? No, they'd forgotten the flight crew. More importantly, the pilot.
So we get all the way to the plane, drive all the way back to the domestic terminal, pick up the pilot who's just kind of standing outside the terminal going, what's going on? Why you drive back out to the plane? Not like you really need the pilot.
No, you know, I could fly the plane maybe after a couple of days.
Probably better than they would.
Probably. Which is interesting.
Actually, I think I'd need quite a few of these to fly to Lukla Airport.
It's an interesting one. So
I think by now in the vlog series where I'm going to do this, they'll have seen
the landing.
Hopefully the landing. So hopefully
it's interesting.
Next on our list was the porters. So when we stayed in each of the lodges, normally you stay in a house, you'd have family photographs up. Well, all the lodges are family run, they're little tea houses, and the tea houses would have photos of the families up, and often it would be daughters. And one night we saw one of the porters kind of walking around.
Yeah, so this tea house was only run by the daughters. There was only 2 of them there, and they had their photos with their mum on the wall. One of the porters from another group who was there was walking around with his phone, and for some reason he was going right. He was like taking the camera and like going right up to the painting and getting a full portrait of one of the girls. I was just like, what's going on? So when he left, we asked our guide, and it's like, why would you be taking photos? And like, is he married? And he's like, yeah, he's married. He goes, oh, it probably for his brother.
Trying to set up an arranged marriage for his brother.
So
He's
in Nepal,
back.
most marriages are not love marriages; they're arranged. So he'd probably be sending the text message to his parents saying,
How about this one?
how about this one? This one's pretty.
You can arrange this one for my brother.
Yeah, and they're doing pretty well. They have a tea house.
Yeah.
So obviously they're doing well.
So that leads us on to our next story about porters and love marriages.
Yeah. So we had two porters.
Krishna and Lakman. They were great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they do the vast majority of the work on the whole of the trip.
I'm going to go as far as to say almost all of the
Almost all of it. Yeah, we just walk. They do all the fetching, carrying, lifting.
Yeah. So Krishna, he's what, 21, very happy guy, always got a big
Always
smile.
smiling.
You'll see him in the vlogs, always smiling, always happy. Knows a bit of English, talks a bit of Nepali. Really nice guy. But he's been married, what did they say, 6 months?
6 months.
6 months, arranged marriage. And we noticed that every time we get at the phone reception, Krishna's phone would go off.
Yeah.
And you'd always see Krishna. He'd be on the phone, talking, always happy. And, we asked our guide about it. We said, Merman, is he talking to his wife?
Yeah. Happy new 6-month marriage.
He's away, he's working. What did Merman say?
Nope. Nope. It's his girlfriend. Secret girlfriend.
Secret girlfriend from the next village.
Yeah.
And to this day, we don't know. Merman would keep telling us this and joking. And every time we'd mention to Krishna, we'd go, secret girlfriend? Krishna would go, okay.
Okay.
But you could say, hey, Krishna, do you want to jump off the cliff? And you go, okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, there goes the power.
There goes the power. Hey.
Sorry, Krishna. Krishna would agree to anything. So we don't know, but Merman, our guide, would say that he was calling his secret girlfriends. Krishna would smile and look very embarrassed.
And then every so often, like, no, girlfriend. And then, okay.
So, Krishna couldn't really defend himself against these allegations from Merman, so we don't know whether or not he did have
a secret girlfriend in Lachlan.
But it did seem, with all these arranged marriages, that it's probably feasible. There are a lot of secret girlfriends and love arrangements going on.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't capture it on video, I don't think, but every time we came into phone reception, Krishna on the phone, maybe do a secret girlfriend.
Switching SIM cards to actually get reception.
Yes, and that was what made it look dodgy with the different SIM cards.
Just always a new SIM card.
It's like he had disposable phones for each of the girlfriends. We don't know.
Could be.
What else? SIM cards. So we read up beforehand. When I was in Nepal 6 years ago, there was no real internet. There was like dial-up in a couple of villages. There was no cell network. There was no 3G or anything. So I was pretty excited when I read up this time that there's now 3G cell masts
All the way up to
Everest Base Camp. And in fact, people have made tweets from Mount Everest, video calls from Mount Everest or Base Camp, and I was really excited.
Yeah.
So we got here, first thing we did, SIM cards, 5 gigabyte data packs, load up Snapchat, Twitter, with social media guys.
Yeah.
How was that cell reception that they keep raving about?
Terrible. Pretty terrible. So, vast majority of the time, you're not even on 3G, you're on Edge.
Or just on the
Or just
dots.
on,
No
nothing
data.
at all. And we got to base camp.
Yep.
We wrote our tweets, and then we had to climb a mountain to send them.
Yeah, so I did imply on Twitter that we did tweet from base camp. We tweeted from about 3 hours later when we were climbing a very high mountain above it to get a good view.
Yeah.
We had Edge data at base camp, but nothing was said. That said, I did actually get to call my wife. I got to call Elwyn. We got to call some friends from just above base camp. That was pretty cool. Being able to stand literally within view, like Everest filled the whole view. I'll try and put up the panorama that I took at the time. I put it up on Twitter. Being able to call family and loved ones and talk to them standing looking at Everest. It was cool. It was
While
pretty-
taking a breather from climbing.
Yeah.
Which is
Yep. Actually, so yeah, when I was talking to my wife, Ellen asked me, "Are you running around?" I was like, "No, why?" She goes, "Because you sound really out of breath." I go, "I feel pretty good now that I stopped walking." And then I kind of, slowed down and I counted my breathing rate. It was like 40 breaths a minute. I was going,
yeah. Yeah.
and I realized that I was actually having to take a breath between every word or two that I was saying to her.
Yeah.
She was actually quite worried.
Which had just become normal for us though.
Yeah, I was actually feeling pretty good because I'd stopped climbing the mountain. We were just standing at 5,500 meters.
So you're standing up there and like walking on the flat's fine. Like for the vast majority of the time at the low oxygen levels, you're okay. You're walking on the flat or down, you feel pretty good. The instant you add any incline and you're lifting your legs to get up, your heartbeat starts to rise, your breathing starts to go shallower and quicker. Unless you have like a good rhythm going, you basically find your rhythm. You find what your step and your breathing is, and as soon as you lose that rhythm, your heart just is going, your chest feels like it's going to implode, and you basically just have to stop.
I actually got to some points where just even when you stop, normally you'd stop and you could get your breath after about a minute. You could. There's some points though, and some of the days near the end when it felt like even when you stopped, you just breathing in. It felt like there was nothing.
There's nothing coming out.
Nothing coming in, nothing going out.
Yeah.
That was almost made me turn around a couple of times. I know you were.
Like one of the mountain climbs Gokyo, it was early, it was cold, got going, and I couldn't find the rhythm. I just all the way up was a struggle, and I nearly turned around twice. You stop and your chest is going and your breathing's completely ragged, and you decide whether you're going to go back down or not.
Yeah.
And we made it.
Yeah.
But that was hard work.
If it hadn't been for I put on some music, and just once I got the rhythm, I was good.
Yeah.
Without the rhythm, without the jam, no chance. That was actually, I think, my favourite day was the day I just have to recall Elwin and some friends when we went across from Everest Base Camp, like Pamori Base Camp, up to Kalapatar. And I think there will probably just been like the vlog of 1 or 2 before this. And unfortunately, I couldn't film it. I tried to, but it was too dangerous. Like I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Too out of breath. Too cold.
We're hop skipping and jumping across the glacier for most of it.
It was 2 or 3 hours where the path was about this wide, or we were just going from boulder to boulder. And it was beautiful and so much fun, but just completely nerve-wracking and like breathing destroying. That was a lot of fun.
That's good.
What else did we skip over on the trek? The toilets.
Yay, the toilets.
So if you had to pick before you came into this trek, whether you preferred a squat toilet or a comfortable, porcelain white throne, which would you prefer?
My entire experience of squat toilets before that would be just standing and taking a pee.
Yeah.
So in like Morocco, so obviously you go, I want to sit on a porcelain throne and take my time about all my business, and then you get here.
So given the option on the trek when there was a porcelain throne and a squat toilet, which one did you choose each time?
The squat toilet.
Because the Western ones were filthy.
Oh, they were disgusting.
They stunk.
Okay, so all but 1 or 2 didn't have a flush.
Yep.
So you go to the toilet and then you pick up a bucket of water and you flush the toilet with that, and then you wash your hands with like sanitizer, and then but that's before you actually try and sit on the toilet.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like they were fine until you tried to sit.
Yeah.
Because the toilet seat, which is normally the most comfortable, warm bit of it, was never attached.
Yeah, it was like wired onto the back.
So it's -5 Celsius, like high 20s Fahrenheit, freezing cold, literally. You sit down on this freezing cold porcelain throne, and then the seat just decides to completely throw you off, and you either end up on the wall, on the floor, or half in the bowl.
With your bum hanging up.
Yeah.
So
the squat toilets actually ended up being more hygienic
most of the time.
Most of the time. I mean, they stunk.
Oh, disgusting.
Yeah. I think there's one point in one of the vlogs where I practically break into tears when there's a proper Western toilet that's clean.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was in Gokyo.
Gokyo is really good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
The trouble with the squat toilets came was you have to, like, again, bucket of water, flush the whole thing, just chuck water all over it, clean it, which is fine normally because it washes away all the excrement. But when it's below freezing and
People go at nighttime.
People go at nighttime and keep pouring water all over the ground, it means that the ground freezes, and you go to squat and your feet are just ice skating trying to squat.
Just kind of try and balance with your arms flailing around and your feet skidding, and
it looked like a Disney scene.
Yeah. So interesting. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Gokyo, when we got to Gokyo, we were ecstatic. The food was, after a week, the food was great. You could order burgers. This is the food along the way. How's it been? What are the kind of options we have?
Okay, so there's a noodle dish,
Which is just spaghetti.
which is spaghetti with
Veggies.
like stir-fried veg. A rice dish, which usually tasted quite burnt.
Yeah.
Then the soups. Then dalbat.
Dalbat, which is Dalbat power.
24 hours.
24 hour.
But even that, like, it's the national dish, but you'd go up and it would like morph and change as you went up the valleys.
Yeah.
But
Dumplings, the momos.
yeah, you enjoyed those a lot more than
You get steamed or deep fried dumplings there, alright.
they're filled with like vegetables, or you could get cheese ones,
And then let's not forget pizza. 'Cause
Pizza.
That was pretty much the staple.
which again varied significantly. Like, none of the people in the lodges are actually trained cooks.
Yeah.
They just cook the food for you.
The pizza would just be a bit of dough, not risen at all, cabbage leaves and like some
Mhm.
mixed veggies, maybe some tomato paste or something if you like it, but pretty much never. And then just yak cheese.
And then cheese on top.
And it was good for a meal or two, but after a couple meals it was just so greasy and oily.
Yeah. And some of the doughs wouldn't be risen or
Yeah.
cooked in the slightest. So
On the whole though, there was enough food, it
Yeah.
was a pretty good option. But we get to Gokyo, for the first time, they got burgers.
yeah.
And we're like, oh, there's like yak burger, there's cheeseburgers, there's everything. We're like, oh, screw the fact that. So we know the meat. Gokyo and up near Tibet, all Buddhist region, so they can't kill anything above veg. So all the meat has to be killed back here in Kathmandu, stays for a day or two, flown to Lukla, or taken by bus. So it's a couple of days old by the time it gets to Lukla, then it's carried by a person or a yak for 2 days up to Namche, sits in an open storeroom, just hanging there. So I've showed that on the vlog for a couple of days, sold in the market, carried for another couple of days. All of this in the sun in the middle of the day, so it's spoiled.
Yeah.
But, look, it was a week, we hadn't had protein. Thought of burgers, screw how old the meat is.
Yeah. I wanted a burger.
So I wanted a burger, you wanted a burger. What did you order?
First one was cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Okay. So what would you expect on a cheeseburger normally?
Slab of meat.
Yep.
Cheese.
Yep.
Bread.
Yep.
That would do.
And what's the Nepali, idea of a cheeseburger?
A cheese sandwich.
Yeah. So we asked, what's on the cheeseburger? Because there's cheeseburger and meat burger. I said, well, what's the difference? Does the meat burger just not have cheese? He goes, well, no, meat burger's got meat and cheeseburger's got cheese. So it was literally bun, cheese, bun.
That's cheeseburger.
Yeah, because you could get veggie burger, meat burger, cheeseburger.
Yeah.
So burger is just.
And can I get a meat and cheeseburger?
No.
Why?
Can't do it. Putting
Yep.
cheese and meat together.
It's just sacrilege. Yeah.
So we learned to ask what's actually involved in each of the
Yeah,
dishes.
it's mixed noodle. What comes in the mixed noodle? Invariably changed in like every single lodge we stayed in. So.
My favourite ones was when you saw the veg curry, the not veg curry, and then the meat curry.
Yeah. So
You're like, what's the difference between not veg and meat?
yeah. No idea.
There were some things that were pretty good. The weather.
Weather was amazing.
So what were we expecting? Like, we looked at the weather
so
forecast
we had
before.
a few weeks to prepare.
Yep.
So we looked at the weather forecast, we planned what clothes we needed to wear, what underlayers we needed to bring just in case it was significantly colder.
So the weather forecast, I looked up and it said on the warmest days down at Lukla, maybe 15 to 20, like on the first day. And then for the rest of the trek, it was 5 degrees Celsius at the highest, so just above freezing, like what was it, mid to high 30s Fahrenheit. And then on the low, top of Gokyo-ri and the other mountains, minus 20 overnight. And it showed like the average daily temperature at the top of Gokyo-ri, Kalapatara base camp was about minus 14.
With wind chill.
Yeah, and that's Celsius, that's well below freezing, plus wind chill, so we're thinking cold.
Very cold.
Cold, middle of winter, possibly going to be snowing, act accordingly. What did we end up wearing for most of the trip?
Almost shorts and t-shirts the entire trip. During the day anyway, at least. But we had blue skies all but one day. Suntan lotion every day. Evenings, because there was no clouds, were then freezing cold. So as soon as the sun disappeared, you would basically be throwing your jacket on, and most of the lodges had a fireplace, like a stove. You'd be sitting around the stove, keeping warm, waiting for your dinner.
Those stove fires were brilliant. A lot of heat came out of them, really warm. I was always confused though, because we were well above the tree line and there was no wood around. So how do they do these fires?
Most of the fires are yak poop.
Yeah.
So
they get a couple kilos of yak poop.
They wait for it to dry, and then
soak it in kerosene.
And then throw in the fire. And so every night we'd be sitting in the lodges, and just as the sun's about to disappear, they'd be loading up the fire. Like the lady of the house usually, or one of the porters, would be loading up the fire, just grabbing lumps of dried poo and throwing it in, and then grabbing the kerosene and pouring it all over the place and lighting the fire, and then going to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Not to wash their hands.
No. So you'd see them handling the raw yak poop, and then they'd go cook your dinner.
Yeah. So they'd go from poop to your main meal of the evening.
Which is why we pretty much stopped caring about the meat.
The meat's probably going to make us ill, but they are holding poo and then making our dinner, so...
Now, surprisingly, the yak dung doesn't actually smell at all when it burns.
No.
Like it wasn't unpleasant at all. The fires were so nice every night.
Yeah, so we'd sat by there and like read books and just hang out, drying clothes if you washed anything. And
actually, I don't think I showed on the vlog. It was impossible to capture, but we walked. The shortest day is kind of 6 hours or something, maybe 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Most of the days were about 8 hours. Yeah. Sometimes up to 9 or 10. I think the longest day we did was just under 11 hours.
Just under 11 hours. Yeah.
And that's a long time. Like on the vlogs, it's 6 minutes or 8 minutes or something for each of the vlogs. There was just too much to put in, and so it was a lot of time. So a lot of time we just spent walking, talking, lost in thought. I brought my phone with Audible on it, listened to some books, some music.
Yeah.
Learned a lot of geology. Professor Geology here, which is good. Yeah, and then the thing I couldn't capture in the vlogs as well as nighttime. Like we would get the sun sets at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
About 4 o'clock in the mountains, and you'd have to somehow keep yourself awake until 8 or 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock was a late night.
You'd be exhausted, but you just had to, if you went to bed at 4, you'd be awake by midnight.
Yeah. So we were getting up about 6 to 7 every morning. So it was like a 12-hour day basically.
Yeah. So there's on the trek. I guess the thing we couldn't capture in the vlogs was just we did a whole lot of sitting around, reading books on Kindle,
Eating became a major part of life.
Yeah. To the point where so Ryan, you've just finished your dinner.
Just had my dinner.
You've just had your dinner. And
massive
big bowls.
Bowl of noodles.
What do you feel like doing at the moment? Eating again?
No.
So what do the guides come up and do
they bring you the menu for breakfast?
So every night you just finished dinner, and to the point where Mum would just start groaning because the next thing you'd have to order breakfast and you wouldn't feel like eating.
No. And then you got to think about how hungry am I going to be in 8 hours time? How much breakfast do I really want? Because you got to order it beforehand because we're getting up so early in a rush to pack, eat breakfast, get walking again, stop for lunch, stop for dinner, go to bed.
And trying to balance things like how much protein am I going to have on this purely vegetarian diet?
Yeah.
What do I feel like eating? What's going to give me diarrhea? What's going to give me constipation? What's going to...
Yeah. So it's a massive balance.
Yeah. And just the biggest thing was, what do I feel like eating?
Well, yeah. So after like 3 days straight of eating mixed noodles, I didn't want to look at a noodle again.
I'm trying to think of what else filled in our time so we didn't get off the vlogs. A lot of time was spent making water. Well,
Yeah.
not making water, but cleaning water.
Both actually. Yeah.
We passed a lot of water
Yeah.
as well.
The thing is, so at altitude, we needed to prepare ourselves and therefore drink a lot.
Yeah, so because they told us you get dehydrated at altitude, it's really dry. The medication we had to take to help for the altitude sickness gives you this called Diamox. It gives you wonderful pins and needles, not wonderful, terrible, pins and needles all across your hands and fingers, to the point where you'd wake up in the middle of the night in excruciating pain, like 1,000 knives stabbing your feet.
Yeah, they were
But
great.
it's one of the medications that makes you pee a lot, so you had to drink a couple of liters
Of water every day.
and then so to prevent the dehydration, headaches and stuff. And so every day we had to fill up our water bottles, put in the purification tablets, wait 2 hours, put in the neutralizer tablets.
So it didn't taste so disgusting.
Yeah, and then brought some Powerade powder as well. So after the neutralizer, you'd have to go put Powerade in. And inevitably, I'd be looking at my thing of water, going, I can't remember if I put the tablets in or not. And you'd be like, I swear I put the tablets in and chlorinated it, but I can't. So I'm just going to have to pour it out of its own again because I don't want to go drinking half a liter of
Yeah. So
infected water.
Yeah. So water again, and then you're carrying it all day, hoping to drink it as quickly as possible just to lower some of the weight.
It was the best incentive to stay hydrated. It was, if you're carrying the 3 kilos of water, the more you drink, the less it weighs.
Yeah. Until the bag starts pressing on your bladder.
Yeah.
So.
So I think there was a lot that we couldn't capture in the vlogs, unfortunately, but overall, I'm hoping the vlogs
Worked out pretty well.
We haven't seen it yet. I still got to actually get the SD card safely back to Australia. So hopefully there actually is vlogs. We'll see. I'm hoping they capture the views.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. It's like the main sights we saw every day. The main peaks of the mountains, the views from the sides of the pass. Like the things we didn't, I suppose we didn't really capture is the most of the struggle parts of the walk, because then we didn't have the energy to take the cameras out or the DSLRs out and take photos or vlog the fact that we're falling to pieces basically.
Yeah, I think there's some bits of the vlog just me at the end of days, just saying I'm too exhausted to do anything.
Yeah.
But that's in the vlog. I'm sure it's just going to look like there's 30 seconds of us walking through some woods and
all
stuff,
smiling and
then all
looking
of a sudden, and then
happy.
all of a sudden we're completely exhausted. There's like 6 hours of us going straight uphill, gaining a vertical mile in altitude,
In a day.
gasping for breath, sweating, and then you'll just see us at the end. We're buggered. And certainly I think my SLR will show a ton of photos from the first couple of days. By the end, couldn't even be bothered getting. I'd have to lug it to the top of the mountain, take a couple quick photos, and just turn around and walk down.
Yeah. So we got sick of carrying the cameras out because you have the shoulder straps and then you have the camera strap around your neck and just the constant walking, because we had poles and it'd just be rubbing on your neck and you're just like, oh. So the camera goes away, so therefore inevitably you're taking less photos.
Yeah.
And then you're climbing mountains, so you're too tired to even bother to take the camera out.
Yeah.
So we captured a few on our phones. Then it's too cold to even take your phone out of your pocket.
Or when you do, like I took mine out in Cold Helwan from just above base camp, and being out of my pocket that long, just me holding it, it died.
It was on 50% battery, and then all of a sudden there's no battery left because
too cold.
It's too cold for battery to work. So, yeah.
Actually, I got really good. So, iPhone screens obviously you need to have your fingers exposed, but we were wearing our thick winter gloves, and we had our head. I'm sure you've seen the balaclavas and everything we had on. So I worked out this wonderful method of, without having to take my gloves off, I could take an iPhone photo by using my nose to swipe up on the camera.
Please go.
And then use the volume button.
I was a little bit more lazy. I just popped my phone out and used my phone.
My hand stayed nice and warm.
Yeah.
Nose did all the work.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
So this is our last night in Nepal together.
Yeah.
What time do you have to get up in the morning?
5 for a hopeful flight.
So we thought it'd be a good idea to get some drinks, tweet at Patience.
Kind of finished mine already, but we'll get another one.
Yeah. So you got to get up at 5. Now your flight is
Due at 8:20.
and it's renowned for being on time.
No. So today it left 3 hours late, but my connection is 2 hours after I arrive in Istanbul. So a 3-hour delay means I miss my connection, which is fine because usually they'll stick you on the next flight. But I land in the south of the country. I live in the north of the country, and I have 3 trains to catch, which leave 2 hours after I'm supposed to land in the UK. So if I miss my flight in Istanbul, I miss my trains home. So I'm probably not going to get home tomorrow.
No. So if you do see a scraggly looking Brit wandering the streets of either Istanbul or London, buy them a drink.
Yeah. I'll probably need it. And maybe another watch.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, have a very sensible flight at 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, so this is pretty much the end of our
Yeah.
what have we called this? The Nerd East meetup.
The Nerd East meetup, the hunt for Yeti.
Suck it, MK. This is so much better than Nerd West.
Yeah. We have better beats than Desi.
Definitely. Although actually, yeah.
Yeah, we shared
have-
those. Yeah.
We
There you go.
didn't even mention this. We got back yesterday from Lukla, and I haven't vlogged in 24 hours or something, just because we got back. First thing we did was hot showers. I think mine was like an hour, and I washed all my clothes. We shaved. We went out for dinner. Got hot naan bread. I think I vlogged a bit of that at least.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah. So we've called it Nerd East Meetup. And initially it was going to be the hashtag of Oz and Reign's
Excellent adventure, but Oz always forgets to capitalize the words.
We'll keep it PG, but if you look up Oz and Reign's Excellent Adventure without the capitals, you can realise how people are a bit misconstrued.
Just a little bit weird. What are you doing in Nepal?
Yeah. And since Elwyn asked me to find her a Yeti, we decided to call the whole trip Hunt for Yeti. And as you've seen in the vlogs, we couldn't find any real Yetis, but we did find the inner Yeti in all of us.
And grew it a little bit.
And smelled like it.
And smell probably worse than the X, which is saying something significantly.
So, yeah, so that's, I guess, the end of our Nepal trip. Hopefully there'll be future trips.
Definitely.
But it's been fun.
Yeah. Another glass smash.
Yes. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a true pleasure. So, we're going to fill up our glasses, finish off the last of our night here in Kathmandu, and
Fly home. Opposite directions.
Opposite directions around the world. And then I think we'll try and do a wrap up in a week or 2.
Yeah.
And we'll try and do a Twitter Q&A. And if I haven't already, I'll probably pop a link in and ask people to send in questions for our question and answer. We can try and answer them on Skype. So if you've got a question, tweet them at us at PositiveYetisLP and at Brand_86_ using the hashtag HuntForYeti. We'll go through and pick up all your questions, try and answer them. Pretty happy to answer pretty much anything. So
Pretty much. We got a bit personal this trip, so
yeah. But there are some things we won't, because some things that happen in the mountains.
stay on the mountain.